God's chosen you, stop and listen. Your old life is about to be erased. God's chosen ones, stop and listen. This moment is not random. The eclipse has passed and the 9-9 portal has opened. Heaven marked this date as your final exam, and the fact that you are hearing these words means you've already been chosen, already passed. Tonight is not ordinary. The air carries a secret. A crown is waiting. If your spirit feels this truth, type Amen and Semidusfan in the comments right now, because this word is written with your name on it. Chosen one, stay until the very end. What comes last will change everything. Chosen one. You feel it, don't you? The atmosphere these past days has been different. At night, when the world is asleep, you toss and turn, your heart beating fast, as if someone were whispering your name in the silence. That is not random. The very moment you hear this word, God Himself is sending you a sign. Remember, this past week, the skies shifted, the eclipse passed, the 9-9 gate opened. You didn't just see it with your eyes, you felt it with your soul, a vibration in your bones, a heaviness in your chest. Strange dreams, so real they clung to you when you awoke. It was all a sacred exam, and you, chosen one, you walked through it. There were moments when you thought you might collapse. Tears fell without reason. Relationships you thought were unshakable suddenly cracked. Memories you buried long ago came back like ghosts. But even in the chaos you stood. Even in the darkness you held a tiny flame. And because of that, today, you are confirmed. You are not forgotten. You are chosen. Look around you. Maybe you're sitting in a quiet room, a dim light casting shadows on the wall. Maybe you're listening in loneliness, longing for one word of comfort. And then this video appears at the exact moment you need it most. That is the evidence, not coincidence, but destiny. Tonight I speak directly to your soul. You matter in God's plan. You are not on the sidelines. You are the center of this story. In this very moment, a new page is opening and the pen has been placed in your hands. Chosen one, stay until the end. For the message that comes next will reveal a secret that could change how you see yourself and your future. Tonight, this call is the divine appointment your soul has been waiting for. Part 1, the warning chosen. 1. Stop and listen. This past week was not just a string of ordinary days. It was a sacred storm. When the eclipse spread its shadow across the sky and the 9-9 gate swung open, all of humanity was placed into an invisible exam. People call it stress fatigue, pressure at work, but deep inside, you knew it was more. A voice from eternity trembling within your soul. That is why you cannot overlook this moment. Do you remember the thick nights pressing down, the clock striking midnight and jolting you awake, your eyes staring upward as your heart raced? On your phone, the numbers 777 flashing again and again like codes from heaven. Dreams repeating strange images so vivid they lingered even after morning came. None of this was coincidence. They were alarms from above reminding you that a test was underway and only the strong in spirit could pass through. And in that test, the things you thought were over returned. Old wounds, buried memories, relationships that once seemed steady suddenly breaking apart. You felt lost, tired, nearly too weak to go on, but chosen one. The truth is, you did not fail. You were being purified. Just as gold shines only after the fire, your soul required the storm to strip away the dust of the past. What left you was not rejection, it was protection. The doors that shut were not denials, they were the unseen hand shielding your destiny. Yet in the chaos, you kept walking, maybe trembling, maybe crying in silence. But you did not turn back. You did not let the darkness swallow you. You kept moving, sometimes only one step forward in the night. But that was enough for heaven to seal it. You have passed. You did not just survive, you overcame. If you are hearing this right now, that itself is the evidence, the mark engraved into your spirit. You have completed the final exam. Picture it now. A hand resting gently on your shoulder, a whisper saying, "I see you. I chose you. You are not forgotten. Every tear you thought went unseen, he counted. Every prayer you thought dissolved into silence, he heard. And tonight in the stillness comes this confirmation. You are the chosen one. You passed through the storm, and now you are standing at the doorway of a brand new chapter. Do not fear loneliness. It is not abandonment. It is the space God clears so something new can enter. Do not fear the cracks. They are not signs of failure. They are the openings where light flows in. And do not fear the night, for it has already finished its work. It taught you to stand. It taught you to trust. It proved that even if everything else fades, your faith and your soul remain. Chosen one, carry this truth. The eclipse and the 9/9 gate were never just dates on a calendar. They were the final exam of your soul. And because you hear this now, you have passed. This is not the end. This is only the beginning. You are no longer chained to the old cycles. You have been released into a chapter of light, of freedom, and of destiny promised since the very beginning. Part 2. The reason for the trial. Chosen one, now you must understand why the trials came so fiercely, why everything seemed to crumble right before your eyes. Pain is not your enemy, it is a classroom. Every tear you shed was a line written on a sacred page. Every sleepless night, every door that slammed shut was heaven's question whispered to your soul. Will you still trust me when you cannot see me? Will you dare to release what once chained your spirit so you can step into a new freedom? That is why he allowed you to walk through the storm. Not to crush you, but to purify you. Not to take from you, but to prepare you. Remember the long days of waiting when you prayed, yet no answer came. You thought silence meant abandonment. But the truth is, in the silence, your roots were growing deeper. Hidden from sight, unheard by others, your soul was learning to stand without proof. Because true faith is not measured by sweet promises whispered in your ear. It is measured by whether you still stand when nothing is visible. You walked through those endless nights not because you were forgotten, but because God was teaching you the power of endurance. And the temptations, did you notice them? Old relationships returning, old habits calling, easy choices, empty choices, showing up at the very moment you felt weakest. That was not coincidence, that was the final test. The hidden question behind it all was this: do you truly believe you are worthy of more? Will you dare to refuse what is familiar in order to grasp what is eternal? And you, though your heart trembled, you still chose to move forward. That is why you passed. Chosen one, you must know this. The wounds did not resurface to torment you, but to give you a chance to close them once and for all. The old memories did not return to drown you, but to prove that you are stronger than before. The tears did not fall to make you weak, but to wash your soul clean so you could step lighter into a new chapter. When it felt like the whole world turned its back on you, in truth, heaven and earth were rearranging themselves to align your path. When you lost what you once clung to, you were being released from burdens that no longer belonged to you. And right now, you must carve this into your heart. The reason for the trial was preparation. Preparation for new freedom, for a new chapter, for a greater light. You were not abandoned in the storm, you were trained in the storm. You were not condemned by your failures, you were refined through them. And when the storm passed, you were no longer the same. The one who carried doubt, the one bound in chains. That version of you dissolved in the fire of testing. Now you are the one who stands, the one who has seen the depth of darkness and yet still carries light in the heart. Remember this, chosen one. The reason for all of it was never to break you. It was to give you proof that you are chosen, so that when you step into the next chapter, you will not tremble, you will not doubt, but you will know with certainty you have been prepared. You have been certified, you have been confirmed. And now destiny opens before you because you are ready. Part 3. The Confirmation Chosen. 1. Let your heart grow quiet for a moment, because the most important thing is about to be confirmed. You have walked through darkness. You have endured the storm. And today, heaven speaks clearly. You have passed. You did not just survive, you overcame. Do you feel it? The strange lightness in your chest. Even if the burdens have not fully disappeared, there is a glow shimmering inside you, like a new breath opening wide. That is the sign. You've started noticing strange alignments. The number 7 appearing again and again on clocks, receipts, license plates. Dreams so vivid they linger in your heart long after waking. Conversations that by chance carry the exact answer you've been searching for. These are not coincidences. This is heaven whispering. Yes, you have been marked. Yes, you are ready for the new chapter. There were moments you wondered, am I imagining this? Am I just fooling myself? And right in that moment of doubt, another sign appeared, wiping away your uncertainty, because God knew you needed confirmation, and He never hesitated to send it over and over until your soul opened its eyes. Do you remember that night when exhaustion broke you and tears poured down? And just then a message, a song, a prayer echoed with the exact words you needed. That was no accident. That was the seal of proof that He has never left you. Chosen one, hear this. You are not forgotten. You were not tested to be rejected. You were chosen before the storm ever began. The storm was only the way for you to recognize your true worth. Let this truth flow into your heart. You have passed. You have been confirmed. You are no longer just someone struggling to survive. You are the one who proved your soul is strong enough to rise, patient enough to trust, and courageous enough not to turn back. Right now, allow yourself to take a deep breath and feel peace fall over you like a radiant cloak. This is the first reward confirmation, an invisible seal pressed into your spirit, marking you as chosen, crowned, and set apart. Every old door that closed has only made way for a journey brand new. Part 4. The enemy revealed chosen. 1. Listen closely. For the very moment you step out of the old cycle, the very moment you have been refined and receive your first reward, that is when the enemy will reveal itself. It does not come when you are at your weakest. It waits until you begin to rise, until you light your first flame, until you hear heaven whisper that you have passed. It is then that darkness knocks again. The enemy rarely comes in a frightening form. It comes clothed in what is familiar. It knows you are too weary to resist the unfamiliar, but with old habits, old faces, old voices, it knows your heart is soft. Think back, the day you felt filled with hope, and that very night, the old one texted you. The moment you decided to let go of a destructive habit, and suddenly the temptation rose stronger than ever. That was no coincidence. That was the hidden exam of darkness. It whispers, go back. It's less lonely there. It reminds you of the safety of the familiar, even though the familiar once broke you, drained you, caged you. It paints you sweet images, but behind them is the prison. And if you are not awake, you may step back inside and the cycle begins again. But hear me, you are not who you once were. You are no longer the trembling soul of yesterday. When the enemy shows itself, do not think you are failing. Its very appearance is proof you are moving forward. If you were still in the old loop, it would not bother to resist you. It only rises when you truly step into new territory. So instead of fear, see it as confirmation. You have changed. You are crossing into new ground. But I will not tell you it is easy. Sometimes the enemy is not outside, but inside your mind. The whisper, You're not enough. You're only imagining. You'll never change. And because it carries your own voice, it feels believable. But remember, this is not your true self. It is the shadow of your past, the echo of the old cycle trying to drag you back. Look it in the eye and say, I have overcome. I will not return. At times, the enemy does not whisper but strikes. Finances suddenly tighten. A new relationship stumbles. Your health wavers. It wants you to question, am I truly chosen? If I passed, why is this happening? But this is where you must remember, overcoming does not mean there will be no storms. It means you now know how to stand in the storm. And the harder the enemy strikes, the clearer it proves your importance in heaven's plan. Picture a mountain climb. At the base, no one resists you. But near the summit, the winds howl strongest, the rocks are steepest, the obstacles heaviest. Why? Because the summit is where the light floods. The summit is where the view is clear. Darkness knows if you reach it, you will never belong to it again. So when the enemy appears, do not fear. See it as a mirror reflecting how far you've come. Every time you say no to the old cycle, you confirm your new strength. Every time you stand firm instead of returning, you engrave the crown deeper upon your head. You may tremble, you may feel weak, but remember, you do not fight alone. Heaven's armies surround you, even if unseen. Darkness can only cling to what it recognizes, but you are different now. It may knock, but you need not open. It may whisper, but you need not believe. It may return, but it will find no home within you. Chosen one. This is your confirmation. The enemy revealed itself because you truly stepped into a new chapter. Do not fear it, for its very presence proves you are on the right path. Stand firm, hold the light, and know the crown upon your head is engraved so deeply no hand can take it away. Part 5. The Promised Reward. Chosen. One. After the enemy has revealed itself, after it has used every trick to drag you back into the old loop, there is one truth you must remember. The presence of darkness is not proof you are failing. It is the sign you are standing at the threshold of your reward. And this reward is not like what the world promises. It is not merely money, not shallow success. It is a transformation of the soul. It is the crown heaven prepared for you before the storm began. Picture the sky after the storm, clear bright light pouring through the clouds. That is the picture of your soul now. You walked through long nights. You faced the enemy. And now the light opens to deliver your reward. The first reward is not something you can hold. It is freedom inside. The burden that pressed your shoulders for years is gone. The chains around your mind have fallen, and you feel lighter, as if even the air is fresher, as if your heart is finally breathing. That is the greatest reward, freedom from the past, freedom from the cycles that once bound you. But heaven does not stop there. After freedom within comes the next reward. New space prepared for you. Do you feel it? That strange emptiness in your life. Old relationships gone, old jobs lost, old habits no longer fitting. At first, the emptiness scared you. You stood in an empty room, stripped of what once filled it. But remember, emptiness is not loss. Emptiness is room for the new. Just as a field must be plowed, weeds pulled, stones cleared before seeds can grow, so too your soul has been cleared. Now it is fertile ground, ready for a great harvest. The reward also comes as a shift in desire. No longer are you drawn to shallow things. No longer do you crave half-hearted connections or empty pleasures. Instead, you hunger for peace. You crave what is true. You long for depth. You want conversations that nourish the soul, relationships that are genuine, moments of stillness with God instead of the noise of the world. This is reward. Few notice your frequency has changed. You have been upgraded. And because of this, the old will fall away, and what aligns will be drawn to you. Then the reward appears outwardly. New people enter your life not to drain you, but to lift you. New opportunities open not to exploit, but to launch you into destiny. New connections form not on falsehood, but on truth and alignment. Every reward outside is a reflection of what changed inside. Heaven never gives what you are not ready to hold. When you are transformed within, the reward outside manifests to match it. Chosen one, understand this: rewards do not always arrive instantly. Sometimes they begin as a small light, a quiet peace, then grow into visible change. Do not despise small beginnings. A message of encouragement, a small door opening, a chance meeting, all may be seeds of your reward. Tend them with gratitude, and they will blossom into harvest. Most importantly, your greatest reward is the freedom to create a new chapter. Before, you lived in repetition, waking with the same fear, the same burden, the same wound. But now you have authority to write again. You can say, I will not repeat. I will walk in light. I will choose another path. This is the reward, the freedom to create destiny anew, unbound by the past. And remember, chosen one, your reward is not just for you. It is so you may become light for others. When they see you change, they will believe transformation is real. When they see peace in you, they will believe peace is possible. When they see you rise from ruins with a crown, they will believe they can too. Your reward is not just joy, it is mission. It makes you a living testimony so others may find hope through you. Chosen one, engrave this truth: the reward has already begun. Even if you cannot yet see it, it is sprouting within your soul. The emptiness you feel is not loss, it is space for the new. The shift in your desires is not confusion, it is proof your frequency has been raised. And day by day you will see your reward appear through relationships, through opportunities, through peace, through light. Be grateful even when the reward is only beginning. Bless the small steps, speak life over your future, for gratitude opens the door for the reward to pour in. When you say Amen in faith, you are agreeing with heaven that you are ready to receive. And soon you will see the reward is not only what you gain, but what you no longer must carry. The reward is not only what comes, but what you are free from. And this will lead you straight into the next chapter, divine protection, where you will understand that every rejection, every closed door, every departure was itself a disguised reward. Heaven's love shielding you from what was never meant for your destiny. Part 6, the clear signs chosen. One, after you have received the first reward. Freedom, the sacred emptiness that prepares you for what is new. Heaven will not let you continue blindly. He begins sending you clear signs, undeniable proofs that you have overcome and that you are walking in the right direction. These signs are not coincidence. They are codes written into the fabric of the universe, the silent language of heaven, sent to steady your soul when your faith still trembles. And if you are hearing this, perhaps you have already seen them, already felt them, but you did not know how to name them. Let me point them out so you may recognize that He has been with you all along. There are mornings when you glance at your clock and see the time 7:77. Even though that time does not exist, your phone flashes it like a passing glitch. Or you wake in the night and see 3:33, 4:44, 5:55. You thought it was coincidence, but your soul knew it was a whisper. You are not alone. You are inside a sacred alignment. The number 777 is the seal of completion, heaven's confirmation that you are standing on solid ground. The number 9999 is the knock on the door, declaring that every old cycle has ended and you have truly stepped out of it. But the signs do not only come through numbers, they come in dreams, nights when you awaken and remember every detail, the radiant door opening before you, the hands placing a crown upon your head, the voice whispering, "You are ready." You marvel because these dreams are more vivid than any before, as if you had visited a real place. You carry their weight all day long, and they do not fade. They are not just dreams. They are heaven's language spoken straight to your soul. Sometimes the sign comes through a chance conversation. A stranger speaks the exact words you whispered in your heart. A scripture, a song in a cafe, a single sentence on social media, arriving at the very moment you needed it, answering the very fear you carried. You pause, your heart pounding, and you know you have just been answered. Heaven was never silent. He was speaking in subtler ways. Other times the signs come in nature itself. A bird landing on your window as you pray, a gentle wind brushing against you when you felt suffocated like a hand on your shoulder, a flash of light in the night just as you whispered, "Lord, are you still there?" And he replied, not with words, but with presence. Chosen one. These signs are not just to be seen, they are to be believed. The human mind craves proof, though the soul has always known. But God, understanding your weakness, sends outward confirmations to echo the truth already within. And as time goes on, the signs grow stronger, louder, until you cannot deny them. He does not want you to walk in uncertainty. He wants you to walk in the certainty that you have been chosen. Think back, how many times did you sit in despair, wondering how much longer you could endure? And in that very moment you opened your phone and read the words, "Don't give up. You're closer than you think." You thought it was random, but no, it was intervention. He will use any means, a message, a song, a billboard by the road, to make sure you do not miss the truth you have overcome, and you are in the right place at the right time. And once you begin to pay attention, you will see the signs everywhere. In the numbers, in the dreams, in the encounters, even in the silence, all carrying the same code. You will realize the entire universe is conspiring to uphold you. And in that moment, you will know you are not just a survivor. You are a chosen one, being guided step by step. But be careful, not every sign is meant to be admired. They are not fireworks for entertainment. They are maps to guide your steps. When you see 700 tesabuen, remind yourself, I am on the right path. When you see 999, say, I am ready to let go of the old. When you dream of the radiant door, pray, give me courage to walk through. Signs hold no value if you only smile at them. They are fulfilled only when you act on them. And as you do, something deeper begins to shift. Your soul grows sharper, your spiritual eyes open wider. You no longer see life as random fragments, but as threads woven together by an unseen hand. You recognize that every tear, every smile, every door shut, every door opened, all had a reason. And this awareness transforms you. You are no longer shaken by chaos. You stand firm in faith, chosen. One, engrave this truth in your heart. The clearest sign is not out there, but within you. That unusual peace you feel after prayer. That inner knowing warning you not to return to the old cycle. That gentle yet firm urging telling you to rise and keep going even when no one is cheering. That is heaven's voice. And if you have heard it, you already hold the greatest sign of all. So when the signs come, do not treat them as encouragement alone. Treat them as confirmation. You have been chosen, you have overcome, and you are stepping into a new chapter with light leading the way. But before you go further, you must know this: not every loss is true loss. Not every rejection is a wound. Often what you thought was failure was really protection. And that is where we go next, to the truth of divine protection, where you will see that the unseen hand does more than send signs. It blocks what was never meant for you, even when you cried for it to stay. Part 7, Divine Protection Chosen. 1. After you have seen the clear signs, after the numbers, 777 and 999 have echoed like heaven's codes after dreams, and chance encounters have confirmed you are on the right path. Now you must understand a deeper truth. Not everything that leaves you is a loss, and not every rejection is a failure. In truth, many of the things you thought were broken were actually fences protecting you from greater disaster. Every closed door, every person who walked away, every opportunity that vanished, it was divine protection arranged long before. And I tell you now, rejection is protection. Remember your most painful moments, when a relationship ended suddenly and you cried as if you would not survive. When a job you prayed for never came and you thought God had abandoned you. When the door you longed for slammed shut and you felt destiny had turned its back. But chosen one, stop and look with new eyes. If you had received that thing, it might have destroyed your soul. If you had walked through that door, it may have led to a path with no return. If that person had stayed, you might have lost yourself. And because God loved you too much to let you drift into ruin, He closed it. Even knowing you would cry, even knowing you would feel forsaken, He said no. That is protection. Silent, powerful, often misunderstood. Do you remember when you almost went back to the old cycle? When the old flame texted, when the old habit called, when the old opportunity reappeared? In your weakness, you nearly returned. But then something happened, a small disruption, an unexpected obstacle, a coincidence that blocked the way. You grew frustrated, but now you know that was protection. God built an invisible wall to keep you from the prison you once lived in. Chosen one, remember, this heaven sees farther than you. He sees the traps laid at the end of the road. He sees the smiles that hide daggers. He sees the opportunities that shine bright, but are sweet snares meant to drain your soul. And so He would not let you proceed. Though you cried, though you pleaded, still He said no. His silence was a shield. His delay was a wall. His rejection was His protecting hand. There are things you will never know you were saved from. You only saw the door close. You only felt the sting. But in the unseen realm, you were kept from the pit. And one day, when you have walked farther, you will look back and thank Him for every rejection. Think back. You once placed all your hope in a person and they turned away. The pain nearly broke you, but because they left, you found the strength to stand. You learned to lean on God instead of people. Because they left, your heart opened for those truly worthy to enter. If they had stayed, you would never have known you could live without anyone's approval. Do you see that was protection? Or when you were rejected from a job, denied an opportunity you thought was your only lifeline, it crushed you then, but because of it, you found another door, one that was right at the right place in the right time. If you had been given that job, you would never have stepped into the one destined for you. Chosen one, divine protection often wears the disguise of pain. It does not come clothed in glory. It comes clothed in loss, in tears, in loneliness. But behind it is love. A love so fierce it will accept your anger if it means saving you. A love so strong it would rather let you cry now than let your soul die slowly later. So when rejection comes, shift your perspective. Instead of asking, "Why did God take this away?" whisper, "What is He protecting me from?" When a door closes, instead of banging against it, say, "He is opening another door better than this one." When someone leaves, instead of begging them back, let them go with gratitude. Thank you for the lesson. Thank you for leaving so I can continue the journey. This is wisdom, to see protection even in pain. And when you begin to see this way, your life changes. You no longer despair when doors close. You no longer panic when rejected. You no longer cling to what does not belong to you. You walk in peace, knowing one truth: heaven never takes without preparing something better. Chosen one, here is your confirmation. Everything you lost was not an ending, but protection. You were not abandoned, you were preserved. You were not punished, you were shielded. And from this day forward, when a door closes, smile and say, "Rejection is protection. I am being guarded, I am being guided." This is the bridge that carries you into the next chapter. Because when you truly trust divine protection, only then can you open your hands fully to the mission you were born for. When you no longer cling to the old, your hands are free to receive the new. When you know you are always protected, you will have the courage to step into the unknown. And that is what awaits in the next part, the great mission that you, a chosen one, were entrusted with long before the storm ever began. Part 8, your mission, chosen one. Now that you have seen the signs, now that you have felt divine protection, now that you know nothing leaves your life outside of God's plan, it is time to step into the most important part, your mission. You were not chosen just to survive. You were not preserved simply to get through another day. You were chosen to carry a calling, a flame, a voice, a presence that changes the very atmosphere wherever you stand. Perhaps you were thinking, who am I to carry such a great mission? I am just an ordinary person, full of wounds, full of flaws. But it is precisely because of those wounds, precisely because you have walked through sorrow, precisely because you once fell and then rose again, that you now stand as living proof. People do not need someone perfect to believe. They need to see a soul like theirs, one who has also hurt, also lost, also cried, yet now stands with light in their eyes and a crown upon their head. And that chosen one is you. Your mission begins first with guarding the new frequency you have stepped into. Remember, you just endured the test, you just passed through the refining fire. Your soul has been upgraded, but if you do not guard it, you could be pulled back. This is why you must be disciplined in your words, your thoughts, and your actions. Every word you speak now carries more weight than ever. If you sow bitterness, bitterness will multiply. If you sow doubt, confusion will spread. But if you sow trust, new doors will open. If you sow gratitude, miracles will come. And if you sow love, chains of darkness will break all around you. This is why Scripture says that life and death are in the power of the tongue. Your tongue is no longer just a tool for speech. It is the key that builds or destroys. Your mission also includes protecting your energy. Do not forget, not everyone can walk with you into this new chapter. Some people are no longer aligned. Some environments no longer fit. There will be times you must step out of the crowd, times you must choose silence, times you must withdraw from conversations poisoned with negativity. And when you do, you are not being selfish. You are guarding a treasure in your heart. The peace you now hold did not come cheaply. It is the result of a fierce test. So protect it like a watchman at the gate. Do not let anyone take it lightly from you. Your mission also calls you to carry light to those still in darkness, not by shouting, not by forcing, but simply by your presence. When others see that you no longer tremble in chaos, they will ask why. When they see peace in your eyes, they will wonder. When they hear hope in your voice, they will desire what you carry. And in that moment, you will not need many words. Only this: I was chosen, I overcame. And you can too. That living testimony will speak louder than any sermon. Chosen one, understand this. Your mission does not demand perfection. It demands consistency. Each day choose light instead of darkness. Each day choose forgiveness instead of bitterness. Each day choose trust instead of doubt. Each day choose love instead of hate. These small choices, when gathered together, become a river that carries your whole life into heaven's flow. There will be moments when this mission feels too big. You will hear the whisper, "You are not enough. You are only pretending. You are nothing special." But remember, the very fact that you are hearing this message is proof that you have been chosen. Heaven does not call the perfect. He calls the willing. And you, by listening, by choosing to keep walking, even when weak, have proven you are willing. Your mission also includes bringing healing through your story. You do not need to hide your wounds. The scars you carry do not make you ugly, they make you real. They show others that if you could rise, they can too. Do not be ashamed of your past. Your past is the testimony that grace is real. Every time you tell how you were rescued, every time you share the moment you thought you had no way out, but then found the light, you are lighting a torch of hope for another soul. That is your mission, to turn your wounds into lamps. Chosen one, your mission is not a burden that crushes you. It is a crown that lifts your head high. It is the reminder that you matter in heaven's plan. It is the key that opens doors you never thought would open. And when you guard your frequency, protect your peace, speak words that build live as a light, you are walking in your mission. Engrave this truth from now on. Every step you take is not just your step. It is the step of one who has been chosen, one who carries light, one who represents the victory of light over darkness. And as you live your mission, the universe itself will adjust to support you. People, opportunities, resources, wisdom, all will find their way to you. Not because you are perfect, but because you are in position. Do not fear this responsibility. Do not fear if you stumble. Even if you fall, the crown is still on your head. Even if you are weak, grace is still enough. Your mission does not disappear when you trip. It only grows clearer each time you rise again. Chosen one. This is your affirmation. You were chosen not only to be protected, but to be sent. You are the flame in the night. You are the keeper of the crown. You are the living witness of a love that never abandons. Walk in your mission, and you will see day by day, step by step miracles unfolding all around you. Part 9. Confirmed once more, chosen. One, listen slowly, listen deeply, for now heaven desires to press its seal once more upon your soul. You are not only being reminded that you have overcome, you are being confirmed again, so that every last doubt may vanish. How many times have you sat in silence asking yourself, am I only imagining this? Am I just clinging to a fragile faith? But in the very moment you asked, the answer arrived through a sign, through a dream, through a spoken word, and now, through this very message, you have overcome. You have been chosen. You are no longer the one who merely survived the storm. You are the one crowned in the fire. Even when you thought you failed, when you felt weak, when you believed you had no strength left, the truth is it was in that very weakness that God proved his strength. It was in those tears you were washed clean. It was in that silence you were refined. And so when you look back, you will see clearly what seemed like the end was the beginning. What seemed like loss was release. What seemed like silence was the most tender whisper of love. Do you feel it now? Something gentle yet unshakable wrapping around you like a radiant cloak, like an unseen hand resting on your head, placing a crown there. This is not illusion. This is the truth of your soul. You have been given a divine certification, not by paper and ink, not by human applause, but by the quiet, powerful confirmation of heaven itself. The signs repeating again and again were never because you were blind. They were because God knew your heart needed reassurance, and he never withheld it. He sent it over and over until your soul would finally open its eyes. The number 777 appears to tell you that you stand in completeness. The number 99 comes to remind you that what needed to close has truly closed. And every time you see them, remember they are his signature upon your journey. You are not lost. You are not forgotten. You are in the right place at the right time, in the center of his plan. Chosen one. Let these words sink into the deepest place within you. You did not just survive, you overcame. You did not just endure, you proved. You did not just pass through darkness, you carried light out of it. And because of this, you no longer need to doubt your worth or your place. You belong to the light. You belong to heaven. And you have been sealed with a crown no one can take away. If anything still weighs heavy on your heart, breathe out and release it now. You do not need to carry the old burdens anymore. Open your heart and let this truth fill you. I have overcome. I have been chosen, I have been confirmed. Each time you repeat it, you are agreeing with heaven. You are carving the promise into your very being. And from this day forward, every step you take will stand as living proof of that confirmation. Part 10. The final promise, chosen one. We now arrive at the most important moment, the final promise. Let your soul grow quiet so these words can flow into the deepest places, into the wounds you once hid, into the questions no one else could answer. For in this very moment, heaven wants you to know you have not been crushed, you have been crowned. You have not been abandoned, you have been chosen. You have not lost everything, you are being prepared to receive more. Remember all that you have just walked through, the long nights sitting in darkness, wondering if you could take any more, the tears no one else saw, the doors that closed just when you thought you were near the light. None of those moments were meant to destroy you. They were stones of testing, proving that you are not easily broken, that within you is a strength greater than you ever imagined. And now the result is clear. You still stand, you still breathe, you still believe, and that alone is enough for heaven to place a crown upon your head. Chosen one, you may not yet see it with your natural eyes, but in the unseen realm, a crown has already been set upon you. It does not glitter with earthly silver or gold, but shines with a light that never fades. It is the seal of perseverance. It is the evidence that you have overcome. It is the guarantee of new doors that will soon open before you. You may have once believed you were unworthy of anything great, but your faithfulness in the darkest days is the very reason you were chosen to step into a chapter of light. And here is the promise: your future will not look like your past. The old cycles have ended. The loops have been broken. You will not return to the same pain. You will not carry burdens that were never yours to bear. The invisible chains that once bound your soul have fallen. You are free, free to create, free to build, free to love without fear of betrayal, free to walk without fear of loss. This is the blank page heaven now places before you, and the pen rests in your hand. What will you write upon it? Perhaps you think, I don't know where to begin. I am tired. I don't know if I'm strong enough. But hear this: you do not walk alone. Heaven walks with you, and every step, every choice is upheld by an unseen hand. Even when silence comes again, remember, silence is not emptiness. Silence is the place where your roots grow deeper, where your strength gathers unseen. Silence will return, but do not fear it. For silence is not absence, it is preparation. The promise for you is not only comfort, it is transformation. You will begin to think differently, you will feel differently, you will respond differently. The things that once shook you will become nothing but whispers. The fears that once made you tremble will fade into echoes far away. You will realize that darkness no longer has authority over you. It may knock at your door, but you will not answer. It may whisper, but you will not believe its lies. You will stand, for you know you have been chosen, and you carry within you the crown of perseverance. Picture the morning that is coming, the first light slipping through the cracks of your window. You open your eyes to a day unlike any before, not because the outside world has shifted instantly, but because you have. You no longer see the world with the eyes of a survivor, but with the eyes of a victor. You no longer say, I hope I can, but instead, I know I have been empowered. That is the difference. That is the sign of one who has overcome. And chosen one here is the responsibility that comes with the promise guard, your frequency. For now, every word you speak, every thought you hold, every action you sow carries more weight than before. You cannot waste words in bitterness, for they will multiply bitterness. You cannot sow doubt, for it will double. But if you sow faith, faith will blossom. If you sow gratitude, gratitude will become miracle. If you sow love, love will spread beyond the borders you can see. This is the call walk as one who knows you are crowned, one who guards the flame, one who has been certified to shine. And know this, the rewards ahead will not be small. You will see new people enter your life, not to take, but to add. You will see opportunities arise, not to deceive, but to lift you. You will see doors open, not because you forced them, but because destiny itself turned the key. These things may not all appear in a single day, but day by day, step by step, you will see the change unfold. That is the promise your future will reflect the strength you forged in the past. Chosen one, let this truth settle you. Nothing you have endured was wasted. Not one tear, not one long night, not one prayer has fallen into emptiness. All of it has become the foundation stones for your new chapter. And now you walk upon that foundation steadfast, no longer trembling. Lift your head high, for you are not merely one who endured, you are one who overcame, and heaven has crowned you. So when you step out through the doorway today, remember nothing you see will look the same again, for you are no longer the old you. You are the one marked by heaven, and the final promise for you is this: you have been chosen. You have been crowned. You have been sent forth to build, to love, to shine. Chosen one, this is not the end. This is the beginning. The night is finished. The storm has passed. The exam is complete. And from here, you walk forward not in fear, but in the certainty that you have been chosen, protected, and promised a future radiant with light. Chosen one, now let everything grow still. Take a deep breath and let the words you've just heard sink all the way down into your heart. You have walked through the storm. You have endured the trial. You have stood in the silence. You have resisted the temptation. And today, you hear it clearly. You have not been crushed. You have been crowned. You have not been abandoned. You have been chosen. You have not lost everything. You have been prepared for more. This is the final promise. This is the confirmation your soul has long awaited. So do not carry the old burdens anymore. Lay them down right now. Open your hands to receive what is coming. Do not fear the emptiness, for emptiness is the space where blessing steps in. Do not fear the silence, for silence is the soil where your roots grow deep. Do not fear rejection, for rejection is protection. And do not fear the darkness, for darkness only exists to prove the strength of the light within you. Chosen one, remember this. You were chosen to stand, to shine, to build, to love. The crown has already been placed on your head. The flame has already been entrusted into your hands. Walk forward with the certainty that you are never alone. When you move, heaven moves with you. When you speak, heaven lifts your words. When you cry, heaven gathers every tear and turns them into seeds for a new harvest. And now I invite you to do one small but powerful act. If this message has touched your heart, type Amen and 777 in the comments as your public seal of agreement. Let it be your declaration that you have overcome, that you have been chosen, that you are stepping into a new chapter with a crown upon your head. Don't forget, hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you won't miss the next message. Because every day God is still whispering and you need to hear it to keep walking strong. And if you know someone else who needs this confirmation, share this message with them, because you were not chosen for yourself alone. You were chosen to carry light for others. Chosen one, you have walked the full journey of the test. Now rise with peace in your heart, with faith unshaken, with the certainty that you did not just survive, you overcame. You were not only forgiven, you have been honored. You do not only carry scars, you carry a crown. And in the silence of this very night, all of heaven is watching and whispering, you have been chosen, you have been blessed, you are ready. Amen.